Fuck Sean Con. Duval told me die.
Duval.
You know, I've said a lot of things that people aren't going to agree with. I understand that. But it's like usually when I make takes or something like that, usually there's like even a small percentage of people that will understand or feel what I'm saying. In this particular case, though, I mean, and look, I've always been the type of guy that like I'm gonna say what I say whether you like it or not. That's up to you. And I have no, and that's never really been an issue. I really don't care. But it's crazy to me that this particular situation, no one is really understanding why I think this is such a bad thing. Like all in the comment section, all the tweets I'm getting, it's like, oh, don't worry, Travis Hunter's going to be great. Travis Hunter's a superstar. Travis Hunter this, Travis Hunter that. Travis Hunter is going to be a Hall of Fame player. You'll eat your words. What if I were to tell you that my thoughts of Travis Hunter being a good football, if nothing else, a good football player was the least of my worries with this whole situation? Let me explain. Throughout this whole process, even though I wasn't as high on him as a lot of people were, and you saw that, I didn't doubt at all that Travis Hunter was talented. That Travis Hunter's actually might put together a decent NFL career for himself. I don't doubt that at all. I mean, it's clear he has talent. I mean, whether he's Hall of Fame caliber or not, that remains to be seen. I think the chances of him being a great player are better than him being a bust. We'll put it that way. I'll give you that. But that's honestly not, and it's not even the fact that I wanted Ashton Genty so bad. That's far from the reasons that like I'm so upset about this. And people like Jay, you gotta give him a chance. Look at all his talent. Look at the highlights. Look at this. Look at that, dude. I've watched the fucking tape. I promise you. And I kind of gotta give him a chance. Now we already fucking drafted him. Like that's one thing about me. I will give you like when you put on a Jaguars uniform, I will give you a chance to prove me wrong. That goes for anybody. I may not like the draft pick. I may not like the signing, but once you put it on, once you've signed a contract, it's like I got no choice but to at least give you a chance. So of course I don't want anybody that puts on our uniform to fail. Put it that way. Like a big part of our success is like determined if certain players we get are good or bad. Travis Hunter's one of them, so of course I don't want him to fail. Of course I want him to succeed here. I want him to be a great player. I absolutely do. But like I said, that's kind of the least of my concerns with this whole situation. Because the thing is, I've seen this same song and dance play out way too many fucking times. One here specifically. Let me explain. Because it's giving me vibes of this situation. In 2016, if I haven't told the story already, and if you're a newer fan and not familiar with the story, let me explain to you why I get certain vibes to a situation in 2019 with this pick. In 2016, the Jaguars had the 5th overall pick and drafted an elite talent by the name of Jalen Ramsey, cornerback from Florida State. Now, we had never gone through this type of shit before, so I was like, all right, bet. I hate Florida State like no other, but like I said, he's a Jaguar. I'm going to give him a chance, and the guy was good in college. And at least for a couple years, it felt like it was the right decision. But then, fast forward to 2019, when the Jags aren't so good, and there's a little bit of an altercation with him in the front office, he starts faking an injury and is begging to get the fuck out. Now, anybody that's familiar with the story, we can all blame Tom Coughlin, we can blame Doug Marrone, we can blame whoever the fuck we want. We can blame Galen for being a little prick. But one thing that goes very unnoticed in that whole situation is the fact of how close Jalen Ramsey was with Deion Sanders and how he begged him, how he practically was saying, buddy, go to a big market, get the fuck out of Jacksonville so, your name can be more marketable and you can be more recognizable. That goes very overlooked in that whole situation, which is why I've said for years, especially when Travis Hunter was coming out, as talented as he was, if it has to do with Deion Sanders, I don't want it around my organization. I don't want him around my organization. If you think I'm crazy about the whole fact with Deion, look at what happened this draft. Look at what happened with his son, who had probably about an eighth of his father's talents, but because he was a cocky, arrogant asshole prick, getting on the phone during team interviews, thought he was hot shit, didn't have to participate in the combine, the Senior Bowl, or any type of workouts or anything like that, and just having Deion pretty much push him to the moon. Look how many people didn't want shit to do with that, and it took till the 5th fucking round for the Cleveland Browns to draft him, which honestly was the funniest shit in the entire draft, to be completely honest. Now, granted, at least in the interviews and stuff, the press conference, it looked like Travis Hunter, I think, is kind of distancing himself from that, and he looked genuinely happy and excited to be in Jacksonville, which is a good thing. I will say that. And I don't think that Travis Hunter is the head case that Galen was. I don't think he is. At least it doesn't seem that way. So those are all good. But the problem is, it's still there. It still exists that fucking this piece of shit Deion Sanders is one call away from him. And all it has to do is hey, Travis, force your way out, okay? You want to get out of Jacksonville and get to the bigger, brighter lights, because that's what that asshole was all about. Even Shiloh knows that his father is toxic and fuck. He fired him as his fucking agent. I don't know if y'all saw that, but Deion is allegedly Shador and Travis's agent, or not Travis, Shador and Shiloh's agent. Shiloh fired his own fucking father because of how that shit was going. And I don't know who represents Travis Hunter. I'm not sure, but I don't think it's him. But that's the thing. Anytime the fact that this guy is an advisor and a mentor to him, the fact that he can get into his fucking head, that's a problem. Whether anybody sees it that way or not, that is a fucking problem. And Now, I would have that concern if we just drafted him, period. But then you add the other aspect to this. You gave up a second round pick this year and your first next year. All to move up 3 spots. And I know people are saying, oh, well, we did it to get the best player in the draft. We did it to get the best player in the draft. Like, dude, I don't fucking care. That is a lot to gamble on this guy. It's another example of when something like this kind of blew up in the team's face. Remember the Ricky Williams trade? You guys remember that shit? This motherfucker traded his whole draft plus the first round pick next year, and I think a third along with it next year too, to move up and get Ricky Williams. And it was expectations and what people were expecting Ricky to be that he honestly could not live up to. Solid player, but he just could not live up to. And it's not his fault. Now, granted, I don't think it was that severe. But the point is, a second round pick, that second round pick could have turned into this year, could have turned into Nick Imanwari. And who knows where we're going to be in what draft pick the Browns are going to have next year, or what that could turn into. I mean, granted, we still have a lot of picks next year, but I think we got like 3 third-round picks and still our second-round pick. But still, you have to give up picks to move back into the first round. That's not good. That is not a good thing. And we didn't even have to do what I wanted to do. Like, let's say that we would have did that trade down with the Bears, where we would have got a second round pick this year and like some other shit to move down to 10. I mean, granted, the original plan of taking Texas Rowan McMillan would have fell to shit because the Panthers took him. We still could have got Matthew Golden. We still could have taken Amari on Hampton. And then we had the second round pick, there and shit. We could have ended up, and look at how the draft fell. We could have ended up with fucking Nicky Monwari and Mike Green. And I'm sorry, any way you kind of look, or shit, if you're dead set on a defensive back, could have ended up with fucking Will Johnson. He somehow made it to the second round. Like, the point is, what would you rather have? Travis Hunter by himself? Or, Matthew Golden and then Nicky Monwari in the second round? Or hell, Ashton Genty and Nicky Monwari in the second round? Or Matthew Golden and fucking Nicky Monwari and Mike Green? You understand what I'm saying? That is a lot to put on one person when you could have had 2, maybe 3 different players of close to that caliber. I wouldn't say they're anywhere near as good as Travis Hunter, but shit, they're still good. And who knows what they turn into? Who knows how much higher the ceiling gets? And Grant, we still probably may win this. I forget who the fuck the Browns took in that second round. Was it Quinshon Junkins they took with our pick? I'm not sure, but and Mason Graham, I doubt that he will make the impact. He can make the impact that Travis Hunter can, but still, it's not good. It's not like this. This isn't a good thing. And people now are expecting Travis Hunter to be like the greatest thing the Jaguars have ever had. But even if he ends up a good player, and he still could fall short of expectations, and it's not even his fault. Like, this is dumb, man. To give up that kind of capital to place the future of the next 2 drafts in this draft and then the next draft, to place the future of this draft and the next draft into one fucking person is absolutely insane. It's insane. I don't know, but it's like, I almost would understand if the Jaguars were picking like in the middle of the draft and, they felt like they were one piece away and then did this. Then I could almost understand. But, dude, the team was 4-13 last year. Granted, a lot of that has to do with shitty coaching. A lot of that has to do with Trevor Lawrence getting injured. A lot of it has to do with a lot of that. But at the same time, we you're really banking a lot on this guy and Brian Thomas Jr. taking Trevor Lawrence over the top, and the coaching being that much better. I mean, granted, I don't think it can get any worse, but still. I really hope they're as close as James Gladstone thinks they are. And look, I trust his judgment, okay? Like, James Gladstone found late round gems with Les Snead over with the LA Rams. His whole specialty was talent evaluating from players out of college. So I get it. And granted, even the rest of this draft, we didn't really pick anybody I wanted. We had a chance to get Xavier Watts like 3 times in the 3rd round. We didn't take him. We had a chance to draft Cam Scatterbo, even though I do like the Tootin guy from Virginia Tech. Like, he's fast as shit, but I think I still would have preferred Scatterbo. But, like I said, I just hope dude knows what he's doing. Because it's like you're putting a lot of faith into Travis Hunter being the missing piece to completely turn this team around. I will say I do like the dude from West Virginia. That guy looks like a fucking beast at guard. I think if he cracks the starting lineup, I think he could be something. But besides that, I don't know. Hopefully, there's a couple guys in this draft that really will shine. And Travis Hunter, like I said, so far it looks like he really wants to be here. It looks like he's excited to play in Jacksonville. Looks like he's happy happier to be here than in Cleveland. I will say that. But then the other aspect, what happens if it is a Galen situation? What happens if Deion gets in his ear and gives him that advice? What happens 3 years down the road when it's contract time and he's like, I don't want to play here no more. Trade me. What happens then? And then we're back to another Galen situation, which nobody wants. I don't want to deal with that shit again. I don't care how good he is or what the compensation is. I think there is less of a chance of that happening than with Galen because he is from Florida. I didn't know about the video where he said, hey, when he went to the Jag Stadium 2 years ago and say, hey, hopefully I'm a top draft pick for here. I didn't know about that. So I think at least on the surface, he's genuinely happy to be in Jacksonville. So that's a good thing. I just don't want it to end up like Galen, and I want this kid to succeed. I really do. I just wouldn't have risked all of this for it. And, I know people are excited about it. I know people are happy about it, but and, I hate being that guy to rain on people's parades, but you're not thinking you just look at his highlights from Colorado and the fact that he's the best cornerback and receiver combined into one and the best player in this draft. You guys are just looking at the talent, but you're not looking at the other shit that comes with it. And I hate to be that guy to bring it up, but it's reality. You have to look at all this shit and, think in the back of your head, what if this ends up like Galen? What if he falls short of the lofty expectations he's got? Whew. I guess we're going to find out this season. All right, I've rambled for almost 20 minutes now, so, I got it all off my chest. The rest of these players, I got to look at it to, really determine what what draft grades I'm gonna give, like the overall report card. I'll have to watch some film this week, and I'll probably I'll probably have that out this week, but I'm kind of skeptical with this one, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I really hope all you are look. I hope all you are right, and I hope all you're wrong. And hey, look, if it works out, and he's everything he says he is, and he wants to, and he has a Hall of Fame career with the Jaguars, then great. I will be so fucking happy. Like, you guys have no idea. I will be so fucking happy if I'm wrong about all of this. I really will. But the concern's there. That's all I'm saying. But that's it. That's all, people. It's been your boy Jagging Off. Go Jags. Duval till I die. Congratulations to everybody that got drafted by the Jags. Welcome to Duval. Help us win a fucking Super Bowl. How about that? I'm going.